Hello everybody, and welcome to Roadwarden. This is a cute little game that I saw on a redacted social media platform, and I thought it looked pretty cool. I don't know what it's about. We're going to be warding some roads, which ought to be quite fun. But yeah, I think it's sort of a narrative text-based adventure type game. So that sounds like a lot of fun to me. Let's start a new game. Okay, everyone knows to stay away from the wilderness. Most people would never risk a lonely journey. Roadwardens not only accept this struggle, they embrace it. They deliver messages, assist merchants, burn human corpses, and, if possible, get rid of the beasts and highwaymen. They live on the road, die young, or retire early. It's a dangerous job, but a respectable one. And it pays well. Okay, I will leave the safety of the city walls. Please select difficulty mode. This choice can't be altered later on, so casual, no time limit, more cash, some quests more forgiving, standard 40-day time limit, or yeah, restrictive, which is for people who played it before. I know RPGs. I'm gonna go for standard. I ain't a wimp. I know what I'm doing. Okay, so here we are, 30 minutes before dusk. The wall is still standing, there are no wolves around, no stench of blood. Good signs. This should be the place you're looking for. You are supposed to meet with a group of soldiers, but you hear no voices, no sounds of labour. The gate is ajar, but the camp isn't safe. It may keep away the goblins and pebblers, but not beast folk, nor trolls. And the night is near. Your palfrey breathes heavily. It had a long day. So I've got some choices here. Look for another shelter, look around cautiously, sneak to the gate, or just go straight in. I want to see what's going on here. I will peek inside. Your heavy boots hit the ground and the pain of the long ride finally catches up with you. You stretch out, bringing your back and legs comfort. All you want now is a table, a decent chair, a nice mug of beer and some warm stew. With any luck, your axe won't be needed here. Okay. So I've taken a bit of damage. Take care of yourself. If you're hurt or exhausted, some actions won't be available. The weaker you are, the higher chance you'll die in combat. 3 out of 4. Okay. I approach the gate slowly. If it's a military camp, it doesn't look the part. Plenty of wasted space, the fire pit is cold. 2 people are sitting at the table, tired and disheartened. They're looking in different directions, not paying attention to each other. One of them's holding a cup. You notice a quiet humming. You recognise the melody of a light-hearted drinking song from the city harbour. Okay, so I can either leave, or I can just go in. Okay, I will enter. It takes them a few breaths to glance in your direction. The first person greets you with a wave of his hand. There are bags under his eyes, his beard is messy. Despite his simple shirt, he's wearing durable, decent boots. He has a mace covered in iron, or a head covered in iron. He doesn't reach for it. Okay, that's good. I take a look at the second soul. Just like you, she's wearing a gambeson, but hers is a bit loose, as if she took it off a corpse. Her head is shaven, as if she's protecting herself from flesh-eating bugs. Her eyes are weary yet kind. She smiles. Considering the squad was sent here half a year ago, these two surely look the part. Although there should be more of them. 8, you believe. Okay, so something bad's happened. Let them speak. It's nice to see an unharmed traveller in this godforsaken... Whoops, that's a rude word. Makes me just a tiny bit hopeful. You'll be staying the night with us, I guess. We're soldiers here now, adds the armoured woman. Her moment switches from half asleep to relaxed. We'll do our best to keep the camp safe, but if you take the first watch, it would be a huge help. Travellers ought to help each other, wouldn't you say? I'll take the first watch. I don't want them to backstab me, so I'm going to stay awake. To fully rest, you need a good sleep. I'm okay, I've got some vitality. I will take the first watch. Okay, I don't remember the last time I had more than half a night of sleep. The hours before midnight should be the calmest, just wake us up if anything happens. It's easy to wake us up, just yell. Okay, I'll ask them about their lieutenant. Oh! Whenever you meet people, you can influence how they perceive you by selecting a certain attitude. Okay, friendly, playful, distanced, intimidating, or vulnerable. I will be friendly. That seems like the most standard option. I don't want to be any of these other things. For now. I was hoping to meet with your lieutenant. Could we talk for a bit? Okay, I can see what they're going to be. I'm sure you're busy, so if you could just introduce me to your lieutenant. I'm looking for your lieutenant. I'd rather speak with someone who's not going to waste my time. I had a long journey. Okay. Distanced actually could be good. That's just pure. Yeah, very functional. Okay, the woman stands up, dusts off her gambeson, adjusts the sword at her side, and rests her hand on the hilt. Her shoulders are straight, her eyes attentive. It'd be me, traveller. Are you in trouble? I'm fine. I'm your new Roadwarden. I took you for a wayfarer, to be honest. When you mentioned that your mount is waiting outside, she raises an eyebrow. Shouldn't you unsaddle it? I bet it's tired. She glances at the gate, then at her companion. Her voice drops the slightest sign of weariness. I expect you're looking for directions. I'll help you out as much as I can. Lieutenant Tulia. Okay, so this person can, yeah, change how they appear. They're sort of acting. I'll shake her. Oh, yeah, I'll shake her hand. Okay, the game just said Leto, sure. Oh, should I? Yeah, Leto, why not? Just keep your horse away from the tents, we don't need to smell its dung. Ah, there's this one issue, the soldier in the shirt says. We've no tent to spare, you'll have to use a blanket or something. Yeah, I should get used to sleeping on the ground anyway. Okay, I walk through the gate. Your mount looks around and snorts. Not many humans could ride a horse. It's not only taller than you, but also bulky, as heavy as it is strong. You can get in the saddle within a single breath, but most people wouldn't know where to begin. From every side, it's a wall of flesh. Horses were brought to the Dragonwoods from the conquests in the south. They can trot for a long time, but they won't outrun the local monsters. Your palfrey needs you to survive, but without it, you would be lost. Okay, I want it to feel at ease. I scratch the bottom of its neck with strength and confidence, just the way it likes it. Humans see useful animals and even pets as monsters in disguise. Getting emotionally attached to them is believed to lead humans to their doom. But you know that horses need companionship. I end up next to the fire pit. Removing the saddle makes the horse nicker with relief. You take a couple minutes to examine its back, just in case. With the riding equipment, while the riding equipment is not that heavy, with enough time it starts to chafe. You wish you had something better for it to eat than this shabby grass. You should look for an inn. You haven't bought that many things, and you lost one of the sacks while fleeing the Crimson Corpse Eaters. That's a nice... yeah, that's nice. Worst of all, you have no rope left, but maybe the soldiers could share one. Soldiers. Shouldn't cost more than a dragon bone. Aside from the travel set, you own a few valuable possessions. Okay, so... there are 3 different classes. Decent combat equipment, fine gambeson, steel axe, reliable crossbow, talismans that help me use my powers, as well as an iron axe and a worn gambeson, writing instruments and alchemical ingredients. So this guy gets better standard combat plus a crossbow. The mage has some talismans and powers apparently. And he has, yeah, writing instruments. I kind of want to be the scholar. I feel like everybody plays as the mage. I'll be the scholar. Right, open your inventory to see your possessions. Taking hits will damage your armor. So it's 2 out of 4 at the moment. Okay. So my inventory. Oh, here we go. Right. I can eat food, drinks, potions, and use your items from this menu. So I have 2 food rations, fresh healing potion, 5 coins. The city artisans make coins by cutting dragon bones into slices. They are valued by merchants, though rarely used in the countryside. There's my, gambeson, which is the cheapest type of armor. Some alchemical ingredients to brew new potions, but I need to find some tools and time. Brewing is difficult, and your skills, while humble, are valuable. And then travel set, writing instruments, parchment scrolls kept in tubes. Most northerners are illiterate, but they are happy to meet someone who can write a letter in their name. And then a simple battle axe. I've practiced with it for many days. Yeah, okay. So, return? Okay. I return to the soldiers. Unpack and inspect your belongings. Your water skin is pierced, everything's there. Nothing special or too cumbersome. Your routine helps you avoid mistakes. Okay. They're at the table again, observing your beast and chatting between themselves. Your stomach growls at the sight of them eating out of wooden bowls. One more bowl was put in a previously unused end of the table. You can sit down on a tree log. Yeah, so there's the table. I'll look at the meal. I'm a bit hungry. Okay, keeping your stomach full will make you stronger. Starvation won't allow you to restore vitality while resting. So I'm halfway down on that. I'm pretty hungry. Although that's no penalties or bonuses. It's cold gruel, the meal eaten in times of hardship. This specific bowl is filled with water, hog millet and some strange looking cereals. And blueberries. Welcoming you with a meal, even a humble one, is beyond their duty. Soldiers live with and for their companions, constantly on the move from one part of the realm to the other, making sacrifices to protect their group as they face dozens of hideous creatures. Their lives are filled with discipline, hardship and camaraderie. Roadwardens, on the other hand, learn to work by themselves. They seldom engage in open combat, patrolling the same roads for years. They help the settlement stay in touch, but also maintain commerce, settle down, force friendship. When there are no laws to follow, they use their own judgment. Different responsibilities, different lifestyles. Okay, eat quickly, speak with Julia. Aha, gained a bit of hunger, that's good. Easier to overcome struggles, nice. She's focused and chooses her words carefully. She looks away only when she gathers her thoughts. I'm afraid I can tell you less than I would like to and less than I should. As you can see, there's not a lot of us left. At the beginning of summer there were 8, 5 are dead, 1 has run away in tears. We're also strangers in this land. Any piece of information may help me do my job. Okay, the man leans forwards, his leg shakes nervously. He sounds like a kid asking a bard to sing one more story, tell a joke or do a magic trick, whatever it takes to escape from boredom. His untrimmed beard hides a much younger face than you originally thought. What did the officials tell you? I expect not that much. No soul governs these lands. I'll share what I consider relevant. I'm learning a lot about this world. It's very interesting. Yeah, okay, you tell the soldiers how little guidance you've received. Since this area is too far away from Hovlaven... Okay, don't know how to pronounce that. Hovlaven? Hovlaven sounds good. To keep it under control, you were warned that it's untamed and unknown. Who knows how many villages, bandits or monsters... Who knows how many villages, bandits or monsters may be found in these unmapped hills and forests. From time to time, new people come here to look for boundless opportunities. Most of them never return. Do they turn into walking corpses or find what they're looking for? No one can tell me, so I'm looking for your guidance. Ooh, that's a lot of options. Let's go. Okay, the lieutenant drinks from a cup and crosses her legs, ankle on knee. Seeing her chair makes you doubt she'll ever find a comfortable position. Where should we start? Okay, I need to ask them about the peninsula, the Roadwarden, and the rope. Okay, I've lost my rope. Could you spare one? You're in luck. A rope. Take it, I was planning to leave it behind. It's a fine rope. I will offer some food in return, or I could just buy it. I'll just take it for no money. Good, I'm not going to give these people anything. I need everything I can get. Okay. What happened to the previous Roadwarden? I'm kind of curious about that. Aren't you a bit late for a rescue mission? We haven't heard from him for almost half a year. They speak for a bit between themselves, getting their story straight. They confirmed that he had stopped by their camp a few times, but stopped showing up at all in early summer. I don't remember his voice. Always busy, drowning in things to take care of. He would sit somewhere, sharpen his sword, fix his loud mail, clean clothes, write notes on that wax tablet of his. Yeah, and leave at dawn. Unlike us, Asterion never gets bored. He's secretive, but some of the locals speak about him warmly. Maybe he just doesn't like us. That's a cool name. Sounds like you're not sure if he's dead or not. If anyone knows, they won't tell us. Maybe someone is keeping him in a basement. We haven't seen him, or is Saurian. Okay, I don't know what that means. Something ain't them, I bet. The officials have hired you, right? They don't expect him to return. Richer Roadwardens often use four-legged, meat-eating saurians as their mounts. They have to be tamed and trained since they're hatching, but, unlike horses, you can easily defend themselves from many monsters. At least your palfrey is fast and reliable, and won't suddenly sink its teeth into an innocent passerby. Okay, what was he looking for? Did he leave a message? Neither one of us had any insight into his dealings. My predecessor left me no clues. We also took a look at Asterion's stuff. Wait, I almost forgot. He has kids in a village near Hovlaven. I was planning to take some stuff there. A pouch, a second spear, decent bows and potions. Quite a treasure. But I would much prefer to bring them the truth about their father. So you want me to find out what happened to him in exchange for his stuff? Here's the catch. We've hired a messenger to ask the commanders for further orders. Since he hasn't returned and you know nothing about her, she either ran away or something happened to her. Oh, she hasn't returned. We were meant to stay here until fall. What do you think? Come see us, tell us what you've learned about this man, and we'll get back to Hovlaven together? You think about your real mission. You are planning to return to Hovlaven in the early fall anyway. Oh, it's dusk, apparently. If he's alive, I don't think he's going to be happy about me taking away all of his possessions. True. But he's considered dead. I doubt he'd begrudge you anything. And who knows, you may just find his shell lying on the roadside tomorrow. He wears mail, uses a spear, 5 feet tall but stout, long red beard, short hair, pale face, rarely smiles. So find out what happened to him. Dead, alive, left, just let me know. Okay, use your journal to see your list of quests. Let's ask about the peninsula next. I'll tell you what I know, and you'll be the judge. How long did it take you to get here from the city? On a decent palfrey, I'd guess 3-4 days. From here, you can reach the coast in about a day, as long as you don't make any stops. Do you know the situation? Why no ships can get here? The sea route allows Hovlaven to keep in touch with the coastal villages, collect taxes, move the soldiers, collect lumber, deliver tools. But maintaining order on a wild coast such as this is like filling the ocean depths with coins. Because of the rocks, you can hardly get a ship 5 miles from shore and the boats can't get much closer. I don't know much about fishing, but there's not that many people living by the shore, and they don't crave to stay in touch with the city folk. No soul from the north ever came to the camp, but when we travel to the roadside inn, Pelt of the North, they're happy to trade and to play dice. Okay. Why not just stay at one of the settlements? I mean, you know, we're here to guard this road. This camp is our post, and... don't take it the wrong way, Leto, but are you a devout soul? Oh boy, so we're learning a lot about this world now. There's a big city called Hovlaven. There's villages all around it, but they don't really get on super well. I appear to be on some sort of peninsula, which you can't get very close to the coast of because of rocks. And we're in the north, or like between the north and the south anyway. And now, we're getting to religion. So, like most city folk, I believe that people should unite their strength to overcome the threats of nature and dark magic. Everyone will be judged for both good and evil deeds, the United Church. And then, or a monastery that does its best to advance mankind's spiritual growth, artistry, herbalism and magical research, the Order of Truth. A small village, the freedom of shell, pneuma and soul are the main virtues of life. My community is unique and independent, so are its members, so my fellowship. And I have a strong connection to nature and spirits and follow the path of my ancestors. They may be considered sinister and treacherous by the city folk. You'd probably call me a pagan. There's no evidence of the right's existence and all the mystical tales are explained by magic. No. So that's atheist. So the United Church is the big one. That's like, I'm gonna guess Christianity. The Order of Truth? Yeah, that's kind of interesting. That's like a sort of separate thing. Small village where a sort of folk religion, which is, individual to each community. And then paganism, which is naturalism and spirits. I like the idea of being a pagan, though. I think I'm going to choose paganism. A pagan Roadwarden? Now, I'm sure we can have a conversation. We're civilized people. Yeah, I was right. I'm from the United Church, but I'm not a priest or anything. And definitely not a zealot. Oops, an awkward pause. The United Church has spilled the blood of countless pagan tribes, making it clear that who's not with them is against them. Your family shared gruesome stories about the atrocities committed by the priests against your ancestors. Yikes. So, I was right. At least the lieutenant is from the United Church. But I'm not looking for squabbles, we can get along just fine. The people here are disquieting. Their traditions won't help them negotiate with the officials. Here, she starts to draw lines with her index finger. The peninsula is connected with roads like a big circle. In the northwest, you'll find a weird village and a bog. It's not exactly pagan, it even has a priest who claims to be an eremite. She means a fellowship. They do crazy stuff. They use the dead to cut down trees and dig in soil. Once I saw it, I begged to never return. Okay, so there is a, fellowship community in the northwest of the peninsula. You've heard tales such as this since you were a child. If an isolated settlement manages to survive without a city's influence, its customs and traditions grow more and more alien. Every generation learns how to adapt to the dangerous conditions they have to deal with, and the rustic pagan traditions muddy their river of faith. The United Church often warns its members about the crazy druids, necromancers, and blood mages, the bringers of doom, traitors to mankind. And how about the east? Hard to tell, we only went there once. Hills, forests, rivers, we saw a tunnel sculpted in leaves and branches, but we didn't enter it. Wilderness all around. Okay, were you able to speak with the necromancers? You could see why we were not eager to go there if we could avoid it. Maybe they'll be more welcoming to a Roadwarden. People need your help. If you're heading to the undead village, you'll get to an inn first, and soon. Pell of the North is a safe place. Ah, it's a place, okay. You can talk with the innkeeper or the guards, ask them about the road. Any monsters? Okay, goblins, tree ants, cats large and small, runners, howlers, wolves, spiked boars, mouflon eaters, griffins. But we managed to stay away. Some could catch up with most mounts, but a palfrey should be fine. The trees are so tall that the flying creatures keep to the coast and the mountains. There's not that many humans around, and the animals are busy fighting among themselves. They fight more for food than territory. Don't provoke them and ride fast. Count on luck. Okay, that's all I need to know. I'm afraid we can't do more for you. Okay, so I could ask more about these people, but I think, Let me check my journal. Find the Roadwarden. Asterion, the previous Roadwarden. Okay, Hovlaven, one of the greatest harbours in the Dragonwoods and the heart of the northwestern province of the 10 cities. So I belong to the officials of Hovlaven. Oh, that's a lot of, stuff. And then glossary. This is quite a bit of world building here. But I think, currently I know everything that I need. Thank you. Are you sure we may not be around the next time you come here? I think that's all I need to know. Gotta find the other Roadwarden, head towards the undead village in the northwest. It may do better than Asterion did, stay vigilant. Thank you for your help. Okay, and I can see the entire conversation, which is quite long. This is a bit Disco Elysium-y actually, which I quite enjoy. Okay, go to the barrel, splash water on your face. How much I need? I need a bath. And my horse is napping. Time for my watch. Just observe the area. There's plenty of griffins around, though they won't try and jump over the palisade. Probably. Better watch out for the apes. They climb up and carry out any food they can find, and there's this one really loud were-elk that keeps smelling the wall, although it never tried to get in. We'll block the entrances. They're quite heavy, so if anyone comes looking for shelter, better call us to help you out. And if something's being chased by wolves, better throw them the rope instead. If it gets cold, feel free to make a fire, and the best place is on the watchtower. You may want to put a blanket there or something. Just climb up to the tallest... there's this pile of crates here. Technically counts as a watchtower. The more dangerous side of the camp. And also, I know you're tired after all that riding. I can handle a couple of hours sleeping on the ground. If you wish, go after me and rest, just this once. At least I have a pallet inside. Thanks. Okay, so it's night. You put your blanket on the tallest crate and sit down. The night is warm, but the sporadic summer breeze brings gentle refreshment. From time to time your back aches and you have to force yourself to keep your eyes open. The light of the moon helps you focus on the tall grasses. For most of the time you spot small critters and birds, but there are exceptions. At one point you see 3-horned deer trying to challenge each other. Before they clash their antlers, a 2-legged dragonling appears, leading its offspring. The furry beast tries to intimidate the predators with roars. After a few moments, both sides walk away slowly. Keep looking around. I hear the death screams of distant prey and the mating calls of monkeys. Runners are chasing a grey hare. A group of musk oxen lazily chew the grass, preparing themselves to sleep. A dusk fox is running together with a lynx, making playful screeches. Thankfully, I don't have to do anything. Watching the not-so-distant forest trying to outlast your sleepiness. You can only guess how much time has passed. Once you feel you've had enough, you climb down and go to a tent, waking up the beard boy with a couple words. You confirm nothing's happened. Okay. Squeeze into the tent. Put my blanket on the pallet, cover myself with my cloak. It's a much welcomed rest, the pallet keeps the cold soil away, the moonlight saves the outside world from the eerie gloom. My job starts tomorrow. I focus on the real goal of my journey. The Merchant Guild wants to take control of this realm. Your wardening duties are secondary. First and foremost, you need to explore the peninsula. Learn about the territory, resources and threats, get to know the locals, and, if you can, convince them to consider negotiations with the Hovlaven officials and traders. Could the tribes resist the soldiers, or be a threat to the priests of the United Church? Are there any forbidden practices that need to be eradicated, such as blood magic, necromancy, robbery or slavery? Yes, I have 40 days. I need to be as thorough as I can. Once you finish your reconnaissance, you should speak with Tulia and return to Hovlaven. There you'll report back to your employers and get your reward. But I have my own goal to pursue as well. Okay, what do I want to do? Personal quest. Gather some extra coins to help a person I can care about. Extra coins so I can retire. Enough connections. I'll use them to become a major player in the Merchants Guild. I want to be remembered as a hero who brings peace and order to the realm. I just want to help people. I want to find a new life. I have a difficult past. I just want to help people, personally. That sounds like a good goal. Help others. Okay, I can't travel during the night. Press the sleep button to rest. Okay, let's rest. Spending the night in a borrowed tent is nothing special, but it will protect you, yeah. So, sleep, I've got a new star thing. I don't know what that is. Appearance. Okay, my face is dirty. Okay, I'm woken up by sunlight, well rested and ready. After only a couple of breaths, you notice a weird smell like a roast. No, burning meat. Disgust crawls into your consciousness, you exit the tent. My bag's where I left them, you see an open gate. Both soldiers are standing near a humble pyre. The man in the shirt looks at it contemplatively. Tulia is the first one to address you, so they're both alive, that's good. Leto, we use the horse's manure for the flames, so don't worry about cleaning it up. You see a corpse among the flames. It's impossible to tell if it belongs to a male or a female, but it was an adult. Was it a traveller or undead? The latter. A young one, she lacked the pneuma to understand that she couldn't get inside the camp without climbing. I stabbed her with a spear from a safe distance. One more fog and she'd be a real threat. Even now it took a couple hits to knock her down. Sooner or later, every human shell wakes up, gaining more strength with each soul it devours and each moment it spends in the fogs. Burning the dead is not just a religious practice, it's a necessity. Soldiers, priests, village mayors, even roadwardens. Making a large pyre takes a lot of time, but it saves lives. Tulia calls this undead a she. Most unites hesitate to do so. Okay, so the United Church don't like the undead, naturally, and they, they sort of objectify them. They say that they're it, I assume. Tulia's different, though. In my glossary, what does pneuma mean, by the way? Soul shell and pneuma, here we go. Pneuma, the life force sustained by breathing. Okay, interesting. Time for me to leave. Running away from the reek? Don't blame you. Find us here if you need us, or if you learn what happened to Asterion. There's enough ground here for you to rest. Safe travels. An old farewell, mocked in a number of songs and tales, but you hear no scorn in Tulia's voice. You wonder how many acts of kindness like this one you're going to experience. Okay, you somehow missed the fact that your mount is already saddled and warmed up. You double check the equipment, but you don't need to fix anything. The soldiers were diligent. Normally, preparing any palfrey for a long journey takes a lot of time. Okay, so I can travel. Good. You put on your gambeson and make sure that your axe is tightly attached, and then get in the saddle. Right, it's time for me to get to the crossroads, north from here. So let's have a look at the map, shall we? Right, gotcha. So, yeah, Tulia's camp. My microphone's in the way. Let's travel north, shall we? Even at a later hour, you wouldn't expect to meet any travellers in the valley. 39 days, okay. The warm summer breeze lures your mount forward, but the serene chirping of birds is quickly replaced by the distracting screechings and gurgles coming from further down. Okay, there's a pack of four-legged griffins. They're larger than foxes and merge the features of birds and furred beasts. Each one is of a different size, coat and colours, and their temperaments are just as varied. Their wings are massive, making them impressive jumpers, but they're too heavy to fly. Right, there's 24 of them. I can't enter the forest blindly. Okay, so we've got some options here. On occasion, you could use the Scholar's Education to unlock unique interactions. So there's two, the dice indicates random chance. Usually the safest approach would be to stay where you are and just wait for the pack to get hungry. That may take a couple of hours. I've got a lot to do and time is of the essence, however. So, knowledge. I mix black powder with gladden that grows nearby and the dried skunk sorrel from my bag. Once I ignite it and throw it at the griffins, they'll scatter. Sure, because I'm educated, I can take different approaches. You learn more about your character's ability in your character sheet, which is here. So So this is my character. I'm literate. My education helps me solve mysteries. That's good. Appearance is 1 out of 5 at the moment, so clothes not actively stained with blood. Or a regular outfit. So I'm a little bit clean. No combat experience, no spared animals. I am pagan. Undetermined faith. Lies, no sewing or gambling experience. Okay. Most city folk feel aversion towards black powder and you touch it with great care. The odour of the plants makes you dizzy, but what's more important is that the griffins have wolf-like sensitivity to smells and noises. A few of the beasts turn their heads towards you as you approach them. You ignite your missile and throw it. At first the creatures surround the source of smoke, but they growl in disgust, putting their beaks to the ground. They flee, allowing you to continue your journey. Very nice. I really need to find a proper alchemy set. I got an achievement. Keep a track of your achievements as your journey unfolds. The road splits. According to what the soldiers have told you, you might find a safe inn by turning left. The forest to the right is lush and the trail overgrown. The harshest pathway leads to the dragon's lair. Those who search for treasure, do you truly dare? The signpost in front of you doesn't make your situation clearer. It was put here by someone who can't write for folks who can't read. It points east, blood there. As people say, danger to be found. Okay. So to the left, well, which way's east? Point connecting the deep forests of the east, the western wetlands, and the road to Hovlaven. Look at my horse. What is my horse's name? I can choose my horse's name. Barry. What a good name for a horse, I say. Barry is peaceful as you stroke his mane. Maybe it can't help you choose a path, but you spent many years together. Happy to go on, it takes a couple steps forward. I would like to go towards the inn, which is this way. Yeah. Barry trots with ease, unbothered by the few branches covering the road. The birdsongs and distant howls draw your attention to the forest. I spot boars, roe deer, and saurians. The sight of a nearby wolf pack worries you, but you push your hips forward and your palfrey enters a canter. They don't even bother pursuing. Okay. I notice a stone tower taller than the trees. Must be the inn. Oh, I'm hungry, by the way. Yeah. Inns like this one fit the regions travelled by merchants, but you wouldn't expect a place of this size in a forsaken peninsula. The stone and lumber must have been transported from far away, and the workers, guarded by mercenaries, surely lived for many seasons in a primitive hamlet subsisting on salted supplies. There are seemingly no cracks on the walls, and the building was whitewashed only a few years ago. The road is wide and beaten. Dozens of souls could hide if not for the buildings. Well, if not in the buildings, then at least in the yard. The expenses and labour put into this fortress were worth many trading ships. 3 armed people are on the ramparts, though you can only see what's above the waistline. Right next to the gate, a glimpse of a smile. 3 different gambesons, yellow, green and grey. I approach. Here we go. A woman in yellow armour leans forward. Long, curly, disorderly red hair. Okay, one would have to shout to draw this much attention. I haven't seen a horse for years now. I just said that it's weird to see such a large jackass. Okay, so she has an accent that reminds me of the villages spread around Hovlaven. She exchanges a few words with a male guard wearing green, giving you time to move closer. This one here says there really are donkey saddles. How hard is it to ride a horse? Okay, so the only other person I know about with red hair, I'm pretty sure, is Asterion, red hair and pale. This person, long curly disorderly red hair. And apparently, yeah, the old Roadwarden had kids, so how about you give it a try? You wouldn't believe it, the lessons were a pain. It's easy to learn the basics, but it's tiring. It's an inn, isn't it? Open the gate. Quite hard, okay. How about you give it a try? Let's be friendly. Seriously, just a moment. Okay, so she's coming down. She raises her hand, doesn't touch it. It looks smaller from above. How do I even get up there? I can help you. Okay, so she seems kind of enthusiastic about the horse, to be honest, yeah. Okay, so she's let me in. Once you're ready, go inside, speak with our boss. Maybe you're hungry. I am hungry. The other guards return to various chores. They peek at your mount, then as they're splitting firewood. Every now and then, as they're splitting firewood, cleaning their clothes, doing stuff. Two of them are making a rope. I hear a boar in the other side of the yard. Yo, okay, new shelter unlocked. If you are at an inn in the morning, you can spend the entire day unresting. Well, I've still got 13 hours of the day. I'd rather not do that. I'd rather wait until night time. The locked windows make the air stuffy. The weak fire in the stove hardly lightens up the hall. A muscular man is sweeping the floor, but he leans the broom against the wall and heads behind the counter. You're lucky to show up. His voice is deep and soft with a city-like accent. He observes you with keen attention, yet avoids your eyes. I have a keg of decent ale, wormwood, bog myrtle, juniper berries, cat's foot. It's gonna spoil soon today, and we don't drink here before the even. I hate to see good stuff going to waste. His skin is dark, almost purple, rare among the southern tribes, and his hair is naturally blue. His clothes are quite fancy for manual labour. Okay, so city accent, fancy clothes. So this guy maybe is actually, yeah, a city dweller. Don't know what he's doing out here. The planks let out, yeah. You could swear that the innkeeper made little to no noise, so he knows it actually. Just so you know, my pelt of the north doesn't belong to Hovlaven. You can sleep on the floor if you wish, but if you want a bed or a meal you have to pay. We may have some leftovers for dinner. Thanks for the drink. I see you know how to make friends with a Roadwarden. Yes, just let me know that I'm a Roadwarden. Thanks for the drink. And the vulnerable one is so kind of like sad. I see you know how to make friends with a Roadwarden. He meets your eyes with a puzzled look, then grabs a wet cloth. Your conversation is interrupted by splashes of dirty water. Well, nothing is truly free. I have worked for a soul of the road, but I don't need a new mouth to babble. I value my time, and you should value yours. I drink the ale. The dark room and wooden walls of the mug make the liquid look as brown as a chestnut. The lean spring hits your nose, and the first sip is even too complex. Yes, the exotic licorice ruins the aftertaste. It's an acquired taste of beer, sure. I was hoping to see someone willing to patrol the roads. Maybe you'll help me with the worrying thoughts I have. There are brigands in our woods. This place is a stronghold, so I'm not afraid of an open strike, but they've gotten more active in the last 2 years. One day they may steal our furs, and I've no doubt they're the reason why merchants come here only once. Having bandits around gets expensive. I want you to reach Howler's Dell, northwest from here. It's the largest settlement around. I'm sure you'll get there sooner or later. Ask Thace, the mayor, about Glaucia, the bloodthirsty wolf of a woman. I've heard rumours about a raid of the north. If Glaucia is ready to break truce with the locals, I'm willing to join forces with them and get rid of her band. Not too difficult, just do it when you have a chance. A couple of days won't make much of a difference. I'll pay you 2 coins when we get back to the news. When we get back with the news. Okay. So this guy wants me to go to Howler's Dell and talk to the mayor. Glaucia, I'm guessing Glaucia's the bad guy, the raider woman. And he wants 2 coins. 3, please. 2. Okay. So, yeah. Got a new quest. Glausier's band. Well, I did say I wanted to help others, so that seems like the sort of thing I should do. Gotta get in touch with Thace in Howler's Dell. And apparently the band has already broken the truce, so I can buy something. But also, yeah, I'm looking for a Stereon. Are you now? Don't think I'm going to be much help, but I do want you to find him. Stereon and I made a risky deal. Last time he was here, he took 50 coins, my half of the investment. If you get my coin, or at least find out what happened to the guy, I'll make sure you won't be disappointed. Could it be that he stole the coins and ran away? I just think he ain't the kind of soul that would do that. For him it wasn't much of a fortune, and I'd risk saying he had earned my trust. Not only mine, it's easy for a Roadwarden to make connections. I've asked travellers. I sent a couple of my pals to find him. No real news. I know he stayed in White Marshes for a day. It's a village in the northwest. Just stay on the main road until you reach the bogs, then enter them. You may get there before dusk. Let me know once you find anything, and we may yet return to this investment thing. Okay, so I found a bit of information about a Stereon. That's good. Okay, I could eat something. Do you have any leftovers? Yes, I feed them to our boar. I won't give them away for nothing. Go through the baits and turn left. You'll see a bunch of bushes. We need some berries. Bring me a bucket full. You'll be done in half an hour or so. Your horse could use a nap anyway. The hook is not made of metal or wood. It's a long curved claw. Okay, so that's a berry picker. Half an hour? That's a lot for berry picking. The berries are not a problem, unlike the snakes. Better scare them away with a stick or move them with a hook. And protect your hands. The little ones won't eat you, but don't get bitten. So yeah, I'm gonna go and yeah, forage for berries in exchange for some food. Although, do I need to? I do have some food on me. I can travel, I can rest. Presumably, eat to increase by 2. Or I could just forage for some berries. Okay, the innkeeper knew what he was talking about. You put on the gloves and look through the bushes. It doesn't take long before you notice a serpent. They're not that large, and even if some of them hiss at you or slither closer, the jabs of the hook keep them at a distance. You don't know much about these berries. They're round and red. You wouldn't trust a colour even if you were looking for food in the wilderness. The plants don't have thorns, but the leaves are harsh. You have to look through many bushes to fill the bucket. Okay, and, a bit of a knowledge check. Yes. I noticed a shrub that's unlike the others. They're purple. I recognise the berries as marsh bules. In small amounts they're added to sauces and beverages known for their delicate sourness, sweetness, unique but not intrusive. Eating a cup of them will make you sick. Okay, they're far away from a wetland, which is surprising. I could use them at an alchemy table, so yes, got some extra berries. Very nice. Right, back to the inn. Put the fruits on the counter. You again, need anything? Great, I've got cabbage stew with a few goose chunks for you. I'd serve it even to merchants if there were any around. There we go, back up to 3 out of 4 on the nutrition. Feel free to ask if you ever stop by. You may be lucky and I've been cooking my whole life. Thanks. Let's see, you still have your hands. Give him the hook. I'm fine. Don't need the hook. Okay. I could ask this guy about a lot of stuff, but I think we ought to get going, actually. We ought to, yeah. Journal. Glausier's band. Gotta do that. Find the Roadwarden. Heard him pelt that, yeah. White Marshes. I'm going to talk to the guards. Okay, that's a lot of text. 1 second. The woman in yellow armour is kneeling next to a brown boar resting on his side, not as large as the dark ones from the forest. It's tethered to the wall, and yeah, its charge would leave Barry dead in a breath, so it's dangerous, but it's tame. So, the new Roadwarden? We don't need anything now, but when we travel with our furs, we can use some assistance. She may be around 30, but her warm voice and bright smile are camouflaging the touch of time. Like many red-haired people with freckles, her skin is unhealthily pale. Like a Stereon. Red hair, pale, that can't be a coincidence, surely. The boar runs up to her, observing your boots and fruitlessly sniffing for food beneath the beaten ground. How about a game or two? We have a bit of time and can talk about this and that. We can play dice or throw axes at a target. I'll play dice instead. Your arrival, and especially the dragon bone you pull out, are cheerfully welcomed. 2 of the guards bring a table from the inn, and another one prepares a couple stools and chairs. Remember, no magic. The game is new to you, but no way baffling. 4 people can play at once. The dice are long, with only 4 dotted faces. Every time someone wins, they get a point. The person with the most point wins all the coins. Gotcha. As you play, you don't feel like you have much control. Okay, I'm not a mage, so that's fair. Although, knowledge, okay. You share casual jokes and memories. Barry and Julia's camp are brought up, but when you ask about the roads, the stories are vague. The drinks are here. Pour beer made from the leftovers. It's cold, sweet, and doesn't reach your head. Just don't spill anything, the boar may get sick. Okay. In just a few minutes you get 2 points, which are smooth pebbles. You don't really know how you got them. There's a strategy. I can see it. I can't be sure I'll win, but I can play better than they expect. Okay, I got 3 dragon bones, so I think I won. Yes, I did. Okay. Is there anything you need? Yes, tell me about yourself. Oh, what was that? Nah, Roadwarden. We use names and stories among friends. You ain't one. Don't make me tempt curses. We already played today. She doesn't trust me enough to tell me about herself. Okay, there's something going on here. This woman is, seems like she's related to the Roadwarden. Maybe not his daughter. Maybe like a sister or something. Because, she's 30. That would make the old Roadwarden really old. And, Don't know anything about how old he is, but he was rich. He had a saurian. His kids live near Hovlaven. Okay. So, I have questions about this place. It's a bit of a this is a weird place, to be honest. That's an unusual tower. I'd expect it to be closer to the gate and shorter. Like in Hovlaven, but it ain't here to protect the gate. This stronghold was built long before we moved in and not to fight off humans. It was meant to be used by those who observe the deep forest. We look out for fires, dragons, and winged creatures. Baldy has a great eye and sees well in darkness. What do you hunt for? Anything we can eat and sell. If there's a partridge, a squirrel, or a rat, we don't complain. We look for something larger if we move in a group. Deers and aurochs are delicious, but we don't always look for taste. There's value in bone, antlers, claws, tusks. Things people use to make tools. We use some of them to make tools. You can never have enough spears. And we look for furs, of course. So, we should learn more about this place. Any interesting living creatures? I swear we see a few dragons, unicorns, battle between trolls and goblins, 2 beastmen, and a gargoyle. And a hunting queen shouts all the time. I could tell you about them, but I won't. Hunters have their secrets. This woman is very secretive, and I don't know her name. Okay, your group seems to be attached to this boar. How could you not be? It came with us from the city just in case. We had no clue how our first winter would go, so we needed some backup meat. And it works too, cleans the dirt. We haven't needed to eat it so far, but it's also funny. I learned in my home village that the farm boars are getting a bit smaller and more cuddly. So it's not such a wild, dangerous beast, but we don't let it get too close to other animals or children. Okay, there's some information in here. So she came from a village, but also the city. So maybe a village near the city, like the children of Asterion. Okay, I'm calling it now. This woman is related to Asterion, somehow or another. Okay, what can I find north from here then? We don't really go north to these regions, we stay close to home. South or west to Howler's Dell. Okay, so Howler's Dell is actually southwest. They're fine with buying more than they need, since they then take west to the coast. I've never even seen a beach, and I've been living here for more than 10 years. The only part of the sea I've seen was from Old Pagos, which is placed on a hill. I've never put a toe in salt water. But Old Pagos is a good place. As long as you don't mock their order and act nice, they'll also be kind. Boss says they're too serious, but at least they don't bite without a reason. Have you heard anything about necromancers? I've never been to White Marshes, but over the years we've seen people moving away from there, south. They told us that the place has changed too much. A priest died, and the new one awakens the dead. So hang on a second. He wants me to go to Howler's Dell. The old Roadwarden went to White Marshes, which is where they're doing necromancy. Okay, I'm looking for knowledge about wild creatures. Is there any discount for friends? Depending on the friend. Let's say 14. If it's too much for you, maybe ask you after you spend some time around, show us what you're capable of. Or play dice with us when you have an hour to spare. These folk crave gossip. I don't have enough money. I was foraging wild berries. Don't worry about it. Usually we forage by ourselves, but we wouldn't ask you for a dragon for a meal. He gives small jobs to people all the time just to see who agrees to do them. Wants to judge who's of use and who's too proud for their own good. Right, so the guards won't really talk to me. Yeah. Unless I become friends with them. So what I should do is I really should, well, help others. I should definitely go to Howler's Dell first, because I feel like that will get me information about Asterion through the woman. Okay, could talk to the armourer, approach the guards, go to the well, or we could be on our way. Okay, so that's Pelt of the North, which is shelter, rest, food and water. Speaking of water, yeah. I need at least one piece of bathing equipment. I won't get any cleaner, my clothes don't need washing. Okay, nothing doing there. So. Let me have a look at this. Howler's Dell. Set along the western road. Okay. So I've got to go, yeah, west, down here. Okay, the road uphill meanders, slowing you down and forcing you to pay close attention, but also to the tight rocky passage. You can't help but notice a few caves and fine ambush spots. Keep an eye out, gotta be careful. Okay, ooh. I found a ruined village. Standing in front of the gate you hear no voices, no tools, no steps. Dozens of birds live among the roofs. If you want to travel any further, you need to ride around the palisade. Searching the ruins may take a lot of time. Okay, I've got 11 hours before dusk. The broken gate in the north will lead you to the village. The sound of a gentle river reaches you from the east, where you see a saggy fence surrounding an overgrown pasture. Behind the burnt building in the east you see a barren field. Okay, take a closer look at the gate. This could be Howler's Dell. The palisade is in good shape and the entrance wasn't touched by the fire. The amount of used force used must have been huge, but you'd expect that it would push the gate into the village, not away from it. You don't see the marks of a dragon bite. A troll could toss such planks, but after so many years you see no paw prints. A mage? You can't really tell. The southern gate was destroyed by a massive force. Okay. Move forward. Explore the southwest part of the village. There we go. The buildings, some of which have collapsed, are made of wood, now charred and rotten. You spot claw marks on the walls. They could belong to a dragonling or a large wolf larger than the grey ones. Or a corpse eater. Too many options to make a guess. Yet no beast is seen. Okay, you find the remains of clothes, furniture, odds and ends. Only one object seems to be of use, a basket-like fish trap made of vines and willow branches. It is large, but I can take it anyway. Good. I feel a slight aching in my stomach. Okay, I'm going to get hungrier in a second. Let's go to the main square. Here we go. In every village, the main square is the fanciest area, yet this is way more than you expected. The houses are as big as in Hovleven, and the ground paved took a lot of work and materials. The walls, now charred and riddled with holes, are made of expensive coated wattle. The tiles for the roofs also had to be brought here from a different settlement. You peek inside the three smaller buildings, rotting remains of their former splendour. The birds living in dozens of nests respond to your arrival with quite a commotion. You don't find a single dragon bone, or a piece of furniture or tool left unbroken or unrotten. The well stinks. It has no bucket, but you'd be afraid to use it anyway. Okay, so the well's not good. Suddenly you hear sounds coming from the largest building. Your stomach makes you let out a painful groan. So I'm not getting hungry, I feel sick from the smell? Okay, checking it out. You step forward cautiously. The flickering candlelight shows you broken furniture but no sign of wood. You consider pulling the other door when a masculine voice proves that your presence is not unnoticed. I didn't want it to come to this, but stay where you are. Whatever you put inside, be it a shoe, a hand, or your damn thinker, it'll get a bolt. Okay, so relax stranger, I'm a Roadwarden. I kind of need my thinker. Will the boot be enough? Yeah. I'm the new Roadwarden, let's talk. Don't hurt me, I'm not looking for trouble, I'm a Roadwarden. Okay, we're gonna be friendly. Relax. I'm a Roadwarden. And you choose this place to visit from all that there are. Even outlaws don't come here. It may be you're telling the truth, so let's say this. My little ballista here is all pulled and ready, but you won't do anything stupid, right? No running, jumping around, show your hands. The man's voice lacks confidence, but his accent is tricky for you. He could be from the distant south, but as long as you don't speak too quickly, you understand each other. He's Scottish, basically. You don't hear any other movements, breathing voices. You lean your axe against the door frame and make sure that your knife is well hidden. Okay, I've walked in. The dense smell of urine hits you with full force, while the tools and utensils are hard to distinguish from the rubbish. The route to the upper floor is blocked by the collapsed roof and loose wooden beams. The scavenger is sitting on a blanket in front of the tent, pointing at the floor with his loaded crossbow. Not a short man, though a bit skinny. He's tanned, dark-haired, and has seen his share of struggles. There were long claw scars on his left cheek and another one that would divide his eyebrow in half. Okay, but he's been burned in a fire, I'm guessing. His clothes are untainted by vanity. He's barefoot in a dirty linen shirt with rolled-up sleeves and simple pants. His long beard and hair are untrimmed and untangled. Sit on the stairs with raised hands. I'm not a threat. Okay. You wipe the dust off the steps, but before you sit down, you hear the man's annoyed voice. Now don't get too homey. It's the only place here that's not just ashes and debris, and I'm not sharing it. You better ride ahead. I already piled up whatever hasn't rotten. I saw your horse. Maybe you could help me. What are you looking for in this place? You don't sound like you're from the north. I've heard about bandits. They could have a hideout nearby. Nah, I think they're in the north or east. I stuck to the western road and no shell bothered me. Can't help you. Listen, I'm hungry, so hungry I can't hunt or fish with all the ape men around. Can you share anything? I may be a drifter, but I wouldn't beg you if I had not lost my bags on the road. Okay, I'm gonna give him some good food. 2 food rations. Oh, that might have been a bit much, actually. I gave him all my food. Ha, you say so, but you don't know my dearth. He bites into the sausage, he puts your gifts on an unfolded tunic. Without you, I'd have to run after birds with my ballista, but I need to save the bolts for the ape men, and because of the stinkers, I can't roast here and raw meat makes me want to puke, thank you. Now, Roadster, if you have questions, ask. I'll say a lot to make you get me out of here. Right, okay. What happened here? Well, I won't guess, but I saw many ruins. There's no treasure and skeletons, so this place means as much as dirt. Someone was barking too loud, so the beasts broke through and made them quiet again. And that's that. Talk about nature's fury brings bad luck. I don't know what that means. If there's no skeletons, does that mean there's undead nearby? Are you sure there are no undead around? I've seen none. People say it's been less than 10 years since the herds came here, but I don't know if anyone bothered with raising the pyres. If not, the dead are all roaming in the forest by now. It may be that there's a walker somewhere under the debris waiting to break through like a dragon in an egg. You better not dig. Okay, where do you want to travel to, and what will you give for my help? Ah, I was in Howler's Dell, the closest village to the east and north, and the people there are nice, not like old Pagos that were boring and grim. But they cry coin for everything, and damn good coin. I left and wanted to look around the ruins, see if there's anything left, then moved to Pelt and hire the hunters to help me here. No luck. Bunch of griffs jumped my pack bird. I just bought it. Fast and nimble, but not brave enough to listen to me when all that screeching and scratching started. So yeah, his pack animal ran away with his bags. A few fell, I pulled them here. I won't travel with a tent on my back. I need maybe a day more and I'll have all the iron scraped from the barrels so I can move forward. But I can't take my stuff all alone, and without me the ape men around are going to break in and steal all my stuff. I need to stay here, but since you have a horse, come back tomorrow and help me return to Howler's Dell. I need to know that the road is safe as it can be. So I'm going to Howler's Dell. So if I go to Howler's Dell, clear the road on the way there, stay overnight, come back, I can tell him that it's safe. What exactly do you want me to do? I need you to make sure there's no danger hiding on the road from here to Howler's, or that I know there is some danger, but as long as I can get there safely and return, I'm sure we can handle some roaming monsters. So, see if the road there is clear. Come here tomorrow, we'll pack my stuff on your horse and move out. But don't come when it's close to evening, we're going to need 3 hours at least. Okay. Right, why Howler's Dell? If you want to go south, we should travel to Pelt to the north. I see your point, but I've never been there. Can they afford my iron? Do they have the means to pay for it? I need coins to find a handy bunch that will walk south with me, and I've needed you staff and bolts. I know the village, it's a nice place and even has a smithy. I had a chance to look though. It's a nice large inn. They seem to be rich and have enough hunters to guide you south. Okay, it's a shorter path. Okay, I don't work for free. I have ways to pay you, so don't worry. I can give you dragons, but I'll have to sell the iron first, so I need a bit of time. 5 for a short escort would be plenty, but if you want I can give you a secret jar, a very fine mixture that scares 8 men away. Works on pebblers too. Okay, so it's P. Great. Okay, what villages did you visit? When you get to Howler's, you'll meet the mayor there, Thace, and whatever you do, don't ask her where she got her coins from. She's rich, stupid rich, but don't ask her how it happened, trust me. Okay, it's a deal. To escort him to Howler's Dell, I need to be sure the road leading there is somewhat safe. Okay, tell me about yourself. What for? I've got no legacy to keep alive in tales. I may tell you this, and after that, after you take me out of here. Okay, so again, people don't trust me because I'm dirty, basically. I'm looking for another Roadwarden. Okay, Asterion. Never met him, but I've heard his name. He vanished long before I got to the coast. Now everyone thinks he's dead. Have you searched to the whole village? Time, moisture, and the damn boar has devoured all the loot. I've been here a couple of days now, and all that's left is this iron I carried here. Time for me to leave. Right, so there's the rest of the village, yeah, remains, but I should really keep going towards Howler's Dell. So return to the southern gate. Let's have a look at this building. Okay, there's no reason to stay here. It was just a storage place. Okay, the game won't let me travel, yeah, that way. So the palisade in the west. Ah, yeah, I can't go that way. I've got to get here first, I think. The tracks of human footwear and many, many more ape footprints cover the path formed around the palisade's breach. The freshest footprints lead to the village. The wooden stakes spread on the ground are rotten, covered in mushrooms. A good source of animal or goblin food, they'd expect them to hunt for birds or eggs. The meadow in the west turns into a forest. The grasses in the north surround dozens of tree stumps already covered with moss and fungi. Shouldn't enter the forest. Okay. Okay, which way is Howler's Dell? I don't remember. Set along the western road. Inspect the clearing in the west. Okay, so yeah, let's have a look at the northern gate maybe. Take a closer look at the gate. Gate doesn't move. Someone has, yes, spread dirt and rocks around it and underneath it to keep the planks stuck in the ground. I want to open the gate. I should take a look at the other side to be sure it's even possible. Approach the nearby tree. Oh, you don't find anything worth picking. The half-dead quinces have maggots crawling under their skin. That's disgusting. Quinces are rarely seen without having a chance to blend. You can safely guess that they were meant to be dried or add taste to the cookies or hard drinks. You realise that the bottom part of the tree just above the ground is partially charred. Someone must have posed a torch here, but the wet wood didn't burst into flames. So someone tried to set fire to the camp. Okay. Look into the well. It's filled up with soil. Okay, let's go somewhere else. Right, the closer you are to the village and the longer you stay around, the sicker you feel. Your forehead hurts and you start to stumble. Barry pokes your head with his nose. Okay, push through the illness. Okay. So now I stink and I'm starving because I just threw up and I gave all my food to the scavenger. Not good. Okay, shall we go around? Northwest. The colourful grass covers the entire fenced pasture. The large stone placed in the middle of the middle suggests it could be a playground for ibexes. You see a couple small sheds, a latrine, and a single building completely burnt down. Barry doesn't want to approach the large ruins in the north. The terrible stench of feces. Okay. The paths are covered with goblin footprints. It's daytime Yeah, for a fair while, so the pack should be asleep. If the beasts were active, they would try to scare you off. This is their territory, so there's goblins nearby. Okay, northeast. The debris was partially moved outside of the destroyed houses, but you find nothing of value. The wildly growing vegetables and herbs are the only remnants of the abandoned gardens. I noticed a set of simple tools leaned against a pile of rubble. A spade and a shovel, a pointed stick, a hoe with a bone head, a stone axe. Yeah, they're too old and awkward to bother transporting them around, but I know where to find them. And finally, southeast. Okay, small backyard. The ground is beaten, the grass grows only right next to the buildings. Would have been a fair spot for training dancers and fighters. The stakes of the palisade are covered with carvings left by children. The rubble has been pushed into the corners, the furniture is broken, but I find something of use, a slightly rusty piece of steel. And it's a, yes, quarrel for a crossbow. Still usable, potentially. So the clearing in the west. The meadow is lush and colourful, and so dense it's unsafe for a rider. For a couple minutes you lead Barry with a rope, avoiding the potential disaster, in case of a hoof falling into an animal den. Being forced to travel around the palisade every time you get here is going to be a pain. Most of the tree trunks look similar and have a comparable size. They are most likely planted with the sole purpose of being cut down and used by the locals. They're cutting so many trees at once, that could provoke the wrath of the herds. Such a process should be spread across a couple seasons, and you can't be sure that was the case. In the west and north, the clearing turns into a forest. In the east, I see a road leading north. Okay, still can't travel for some reason. So yeah, go into the road leading north of the village, sure. I'm at the closed northern gate. The neglected road is partially overgrown. You have a river in the east separated by the lush meadow. Can't go into the village because I feel sick. Okay. Right, southwest fields. Surrounded by what looks like a field ploughed in late autumn, disturbed by hundreds of rains and snowfalls. There's a few clumps of grass and wheat, but a place like this one, abandoned for years, should already have turned itself into a green lea. A barren field? Maybe it was overused, but what would you still expect the weeds to sprout? A curse? Okay, so it's barren, but it has rained and nothing's growing, so that's suspicious. Don't have any way to investigate. Okay. Have a look at the pasture. You don't find a single sign of the livestock that lived here once. Yes, everything's been devoured by the wilderness. The pasture ends at the river. On the opposite bank, the meadow turns into a thick forest. What are the chances that a herd of defenseless animals could get there and survive? The breach in the southern fence wasn't made by some brute force. I find axe cuts in the spots that were broken away, and there are no tracks. Okay, let's go to the river. I see a quenching family of boars, some brown, some black. You consider turning back, but they pay little attention, then they run north. The river is not too wide, yet unusually deep, with banks altered by the locals for decades, if not centuries. The water is cold and clean, yet filled with long plants growing from the bottom. You would rather avoid jumping inside or drinking from it, but you're at least tempted to wash your face, neck and hands. Dozens of small fish are looking for tasty leaves, but also try to avoid their predators. You suddenly realise there's something else buried among the kelp. The wooden handles and a large wagon are covered with moss, but you recognise their shape. Why would someone drop them here? On the opposite bank, the meadow turns into a thick forest, impenetrable for a rider. Okay, can I wash myself, potentially? Because I'm kind of gross looking right now. I don't think I've got any washing supplies, though. Barry. I do have a fish trap. And I've been told that there's fish in this, river. Okay. Consider washing myself. No, let's set up some fish. Let's set up a fish trap in the river. Okay, you place the basket on the ground, then grab a bowl and start digging. You bait the stick and put it inside the basket between the sides. Okay, it takes me a good few moments, but will be easier later on. You attach the entire trap to a bush and push it into the stream. Okay, not going to wait too long. Wash myself. Okay, wash my hands, face and neck. There we go, back up to 1 at least. Put on my clothes. Consider washing myself. Won't get any cleaner. Okay, so that's all. I can expect the fish trap tomorrow or later, so it's currently 9 hours before dusk. Okay, let's keep going west. You enter the wetlands with their many streams, pond and fish. Large birds run and fly between the trees. For a human it may be unwelcoming and harsh, but the overwhelming swarms of insects prove that it's a realm full of life. The danger is hidden well below the surface of the water. Stay away from the banks. Tree. This plant shouldn't be alive, not without leaves. Doesn't resemble the other trees of the wetlands, it's something else. You get off your horse and prepare your axe. The water is filled with dirt and dead plants and smells like a corpse. The roots are spreading far, breaking through the water's surface. Yeah, I can see them. I don't see any saurians here. You approach the table-like altar made of 3 limestone slabs. Were these rocks originally as formless as they are now, or was there a point in time when they were precisely shaped and decorated? No way of knowing. Barry is peacefully observing the grass and slapping flies with his tail. It's clear that your companion sees this place through very different eyes. There must be a strong spirit in this tree. Maybe I should bring it a gift. I am a pagan. Never seen a soul carrier like this one, but you find a comforting glory in its haunting form. You see it as a part of the natural order, an incarnation of death. For many city folk, the only acceptable wilderness includes wild game, flowers and birch sap, but you know the value of balance, the cycle of all things. You wonder what sort of offerings people bring here. You doubt that an altar like this could only play a ceremonial function. Animals, maybe? Right, look in the water. I have to consider that a saurian could be camouflaged in the mud. Since you don't plan to kneel down, you're hoping to dodge a potential strike. While the water is dirty, it's also shallow. You see the vegetation, swimming insects, and even fish. A few of them stay away from the tree. All of them stay away from the tree roots. Okay, take a closer look at the roots. This is very mysterious. Oh. You kneel in front of one that's lying on the shore. It's brown, covered with hair that resembles that on your arm. When you touch it, it's moist, soft, and warmer than you'd expect. That's gross. I'm going to leave that alone. Approach the altar. There's clumped dirts in the uneven nicks, fused by years of winds and rain. The bottom surface of the table is dusty, but you don't find any spider webs or mould, even though it's a perfect spot for them. They're firmly attached, but you struggle to move them even by an inch. The cream-coloured limestone is cold and smooth. What is your sacrifice? What do I have to sacrifice? I do have marsh bules. Maybe I could... Could I do that? Okay, you put a few marsh bules on the altar, but nothing happens. Okay, I could try something else. Let's try... I'm not going to sacrifice my horse, that's a bad idea. I don't have any food. Coins. You put both your pouch and the coins on the altar, but nothing happens. Okay, let's try something else. Okay, nothing's changed. Take a closer look at the roots. Let's try something with the roots. I'm gonna stroke it. That's my first instinct with the roots. I don't know why. Okay, it doesn't want me to do that. Right. Let's get out of here. Yeah, so I think we want to go south, don't we, to get towards Howler's Dell. The shapes of mountains are cutting through the horizon. The water gets gradually less muddy. The cleaner it gets, the more animals you see. A family of deer blocks the road, resting and enjoying the cold water, which would be deadly for humans. You consider riding around them, but yeah, they regroup and run east. Keep going. Right, I've reached Hag Hills, the wall of stones that's blocked the city's grasp. The one well-established route through them leads through the valley where you found Tulia's camp. There are no maps of the highlands nor local tribes, only stories. The beaten path leads you by the garden bed of herbs and vegetables to an old, yet not abandoned mine hidden behind a massive door of steel. A bearded, skinny elder sits still on a bench, observing you like a sculpture. Good day to you. Don't worry about my horse. I think something has swallowed your warlord, man. Better move your veggies inside. Get off my horse, respectfully. Get off my horse. Seek his guidance. I'm gonna get off my horse. You greet the man as he nods back to you. You mention that you have a few questions. There's a cold civility in the air, as if you're sharing a table at an inn. I need you to look at me while you speak. His straight voice reminds you of a master of a craft guild, though his thick accent distorts this image. I canny hear without magic, but I'll read your lips. I've no wish to talk about your daily struggles. It's nae a refuge for strangers. Say what you're looking for and let our paths split. His voice is not used to being opposed. His face is wrinkled, but he sits straight. He's tanned like a worker, and his eyes are blue and piercing. The stories of my ancestors may reveal to me who this man is. You ponder about his unusual vigour and the unguarded garden. He may be a spiritual leader of a pagan community, most likely a spellcaster. Druids try to protect others from nature's wrath by teaching them to respect the laws of balance and restraint. Different tribes develop their own traditions, but you know that in this province, such priests prefer to be addressed as forest speakers. I explain who I am. What do you call him? Forest speaker. He lowers his head and closes his eyes, taking slow, deep breaths, forcing you to wait in silence. The elder is tall, with long hair and a beard that was let loose a long time ago. His sandals are covered in dust, and you spot dirt on his clothes and skin. The woolen tunic and linen were made with care, decorated with colourful threads at the collar and sleeves. Now all the blues and greens are faded, and the fabric is held together by patches and stitches. He unfolds his hands and puts them on his lap, palm up. You know our customs, at least some of them. Those who know how to bow to the trees will never suffer from wild creatures. The man stands up and approaches your palfrey. Without touching it, he observes its eyes, mane, stomach, and rear. Barry ignores it. My nose was right then. Asterion is dead, as are his plans. Such is the faith of all dreamers. Are you going to look for him? He asks. You nod. Why? If he's vanished into the fogs, there's no point in putting yourself in danger. What do you expect to find? Okay. So Asterion is dead, apparently. It's my job. He closes his eyes. The people of the north need someone willing to jump through fire in exchange for furs and iron. Yet I'd wish you'd focus on saving the living, not chasing those who are already gone. Old people need time to gather their thoughts. So how can I help you? He asks. Oh boy, okay. Have you met Asterion? He was here more than once. He was no one to stand aside and let events play out by themselves. The villagers from the north were sometimes in need of my assistance, and Asterion was serving them as a messenger. He wanted to settle down among these roads, maybe to live freely. He had great plans and wanted to make this realm flourish, to rebuild the ruins, get rid of the brigands, and clear the trade route. I told him that the forest needs no more people, that this realm is too wild to feed and clothe everyone. His greed and dreams have eaten him, and now he is no more. And that's that, traveller. If you want to look for his shell, travel north, far north. People there should know where he is. Yeah. That would be White Marsh. Which, yeah, I was sort of aware of already. Find the Roadwarden. One of the villages in the north, White Marshes. Yeah, so I knew that already. Okay, can you tell me anything about the altar near the crossroads? I'm interested in that. It is the tree you should pay attention to, the true gift from the forest. It answers to our offerings and rewards us with its magnificent fruits. They heal both shell and soul and make anyone who eats them stronger. We gather around this altar whenever the winter ends, and while it requires a painful sacrifice, it repairs one's soul for the future like nothing else could. Right, I've heard about bandits. There are souls who steal from White Marshes, a village in the north. They would nay dare to show up here, but those brigands are brute simpletons. Even their leader, Glaucia, listens only to force, and will humiliate for the enjoyment of her band. She would nay be afraid of some lost Roadwarden. She's drifted so far away from her old self, a kind, bright girl from Gale Rocks loved by her parents. But now, don't cross her or she'll find you. Okay, what happened to the village in the east? I'm now willing to tell you about that. That shameful tale ought to be kept in the past for the sake of the living. He doesn't want to talk about it. Okay. What can you tell me about the peninsula? I've lived here for almost half a century, travelled both by the paths and through the wilderness. But I will not be your guide or your teacher. If there's anything I can wish for, it's that you will stay away from the woods. The creatures get angrier the more we take from them. They do not listen to our warnings, and one day they'll bury us under a storm of claws and fangs. There will be no soul to spare a tear after us. Do not poke the hornet's nest. Do not ride east, and never use the path that runs through the heart of this land. That road was meant to save time, but brings only death. Be a servant and an overseer. Do not try to bend this place to your will. Your will, anyone's will, is the key to danger, not salvation. Okay, I thank him. So, yeah, what can you tell me about this place? Your eyes see what there is to know. People found copper in a cave. It's been abandoned for a long time, so we turned it into a shelter. We're servants, my wife and I. This place is nothing more than a servant's house. Okay, would you sell me some of your wound wort? Wishing to help the wounded, I see. A notable goal. 'Tis a good season to pick their flowers and leaves, but you'd leave me with nothing but the bare stalks and the black tubers in the soil. And I quite like these tubers. You wish to take the oils away and take care of the rest. Shouldn't take more than an hour. Okay. Yeah, time advanced a little bit. Grab yourself a cloth from the bucket, keep your knees from the dirt. You put away your belongings and grab both the cloth and a small spade. As you prepare Barry to graze in peace, you notice a horned bear. It completely ignores your presence, and as you're reaching for the axe, you hear the voice of the elder. Let the beasts drink in peace, they seek no harm. After a minute or so, you place the cloth on the ground and kneel on it. You start by cutting away the oily parts of the plant. Yeah, basically I just... Yeah. I didn't expect there's many herbs growing in the city. Once you learn how to read, you can find a lot in the herbaria. The monastery has a great garden with all sorts of valuable plants. My neighbours used to be farmers before they lost their home in the war. But people do have gardens in the city, or I wasn't born in Hovlaven. I do know how to read. What does a codex like this look like? Are there instructions on parchment? You describe the richness stored among hundreds of pages. Each plant is described and drawn with at least a couple of vivid colours. The monks gather knowledge about the cultivation and usage of various herbs. There are cookings and alchemical recipes as well. They're kept in other books. Right, you stab the soil with a spade, getting to all the black rhizomes and roots you can find. The man tells you to leave the bed so he can add some animal dung to it. You've gathered a small pile of yellowish worm-like tumours still covered in dirt. You gesture at the results of your work, but the man frowns and looks towards the pond. You forgot to wash them. Fine. I get closer to the waterfall, I can see it. Yep, there it is. You stand across it and let the cool water do your job for you, in the meantime washing your hands. Oh. Yeah, I've lost an appearance, that's not good. The refreshing touch tempts you to take a sip as well. Finally you put the tubers on the bench, and the old man, without a comment, grabs one of them and puts it in his mouth. Can I enter the cavern? I need a place to rest. Why would I allow a stranger to do such a thing? Okay, so how can you survive in this place? One day me and my wife will be the defenceless old people, but we studied pneuma and leaves for many decades. I heal wounds and illnesses of humans and animals alike, and the beasts listen to our whispers. The holy seed lets our shells wait for death in strength. What can you tell me about the druids? I will nay share our paths with strangers. We are Raven for the people of Howler's Dell, for the lands around it. Okay. Looking for a job. I believe your goodwill, and I'm in need of your help. 'Tis a dangerous task, but one that I can complete by myself. My spells are not enough to ask animals to fetch for me. At the northern coast you'll find Gale Rocks. One of them is in my debt, one of the fishers, and I want you to collect what's mine. He points at a shiny large fish with orange and golden scales. This gorgeous creature is an empress carp, one of the few animals that thrives both in the seas and the lake. Go to the place and find Photios. He's a young father, an ocean folk with scars on his neck, and which he will not hide. Ask for a male empress carp, but be aware, I need it alive so it can mate with the one I have. I do not sleep on dragon bones, but there's pneuma in my blood. I use some of it to heal your wounds, though no more than once, that's fair. Okay, oh, accidentally moved to the massive tree, okay. Back at the tree, let's approach the altar and yeah, let's try and offer up some wound wort. Nothing happens. Okay. In that case, let's head north instead. You slow down. Among the shrubs, a small pack of dragonlings is feasting on the carcass of an auroch. One of them, with red feathers, straightens up and gives you a curious glance. It screeches at you but doesn't move and returns to its meal. What would happen if you were on foot? Would they let you be satisfied, or would they run after you? For now you have enough space to move forward, safe. Okay, move forward. Keep my distance. Bit spooky. The beaten road serves your palfrey well. The forest to your left becomes sparse and brighter, and there are dozens of human-made paths. On your right there's a large pasture, with at least a dozen massive mouflons. 2 of them, already sheared, look comically small. Soon after that you ride alongside vast flourishing fields filled with rye, still green, preparing itself patiently for the second harvest. The path ends with a massive wooden gate. The stone wall separating you from the glow of lights behind it isn't as tall as the roofs, but you can't imagine climbing it to its top. There are pretty much no cracks, no missing bricks, a sign of many hours of labour, especially considering how massive the settlement is. I feel like most of the villages I've come across have been surprisingly good. Right, maybe I can rest here. A young man is leaning against the gate, covered by its shadow. He's young, tanned, and has a short, elegantly trimmed red beard. More red hair, but this guy is tanned. Okay, he wears an expensive tunic with colourful trim. From his arm hangs a steel helmet that's mostly made of wool and leather. Okay, so let's wave back at this guy. Oh, aha! The first village I reached was Howler's Dell. Here we go. If you're not here to make trouble, Howler's Dell welcomes you. We have the whitest flour there is. If it's new garments you're looking for, you can order everything you need right here. Capes, boots, vests, robes, or if you are yourself a master of the needle, we have the fabric you're looking for. I'm Leto, your new Roadwarden. I want to see your mayor. City folk. The mayor is busy, but I'll ask her. Give us a moment to let you in. Okay. Aha, so these are also green. So green means Howler's Dell, potentially? But the woman was, yeah, in yellow armour. The guard in yellow armour. So she's not from Howler's Dell. Gotcha. The nearby buildings are simple houses made of wooden beams and covered with thatch. The watchtower has a ladder, no stairs. Just give me a moment. The guard strides away before he finishes the last word. The others close the gate behind you and observe your mount carefully. Calming sound, aye? That's Howler's Creek. Wide but shallow, there's never been a flood in years. Pa told me there used to be no bridges, neighbours crossed it with their boots in their hands, and it's clean like a raindrop, but there's not many fish. We're the cleanest village in the north. Tie your mount here will keep the kids away. Most of the neighbours are getting ready to celebrate. The view from up there is gorgeous. Okay, I'll climb after him. The guard gets to the top quickly like a monkey climbing up creepers. You on the other hand need to stop and wait for the ladder to calm itself. Yeah, okay, I'll look around. There we go, there's the village proper. There's no place like Howler's Dell. For the next few minutes he describes the fields and their crops, the flocks in the pastures and the shepherds, the ancient garden of trees and bushes, larger than the village itself, the sunlight dancing on the stream to its own tune. If you are to believe everything he says, this place has access to everything in abundance, the sweetest honey, the most fragrant bread, the softest wool. Okay, sounds like a city merchant trying to sell a house. I'll be friendly with him. No wonder he's proud. It's a good city. Good place. Okay, according to the man, the northern gate is hardly ever open, since it doesn't lead anywhere. Near the eastern gate, there's the Ape Ale Inn, where you can find bed and victuals. There's the stall where Akakios rewards our work. On the opposite side of the creek, there's another white house. It belongs to Bion, the best clothier in the north. The priests live in the southeast, but they don't talk to strangers. You hear about the hunter, cooper, fisher, miller. The pie maker lives with his sister, the baker, the smith and her husband, the carpenter live with their kids. Some of the larger buildings could accommodate 2, maybe even 3 generations at once. There could be more than 100 dwellers here. There, see, the mayor's coming, the one wearing purple. You're free to join her. You try to get down quickly, but 2 steps are enough to make you sure that's a bad idea. You untie your palfrey and follow the guard. You pass a small pasturage surrounded by a wooden fence, a few loose chickens and a tethered boar. Fancier buildings are covered with whitewashed coating and surrounded with vegetables. The bridges are wide enough to carry a wagon, but for Barry, the beams are far from pleasant. The islet is empty, but you notice an empty stall. So that's this little bit here. Along the entire path, you notice more and more people, observing, smiling, or casually greeting as they focus on their own tasks. Finally, you reach the main square. A large tree grows in the centre, surrounded by the dark water, held together by a thin wall, perfect for sitting, but the smell coming from the liquid reminds you of rotting eggs. The plant reminds you of the tree you saw in the south. Interesting. In the north, you see the Ape Ale Inn. That would be this place. Judging by the tables, it's open for guests. The villagers are chatting and dining loudly, and you catch their curious glances. Yeah, merchants arguing with a worker. Old man is sitting by himself eating a pie. A young woman is cleaning the empty mug, speaking with a man twice her age. I need a spot to tether Barry. Right, we're at the pub. There's a wide wooden roof right next to the gate that shelters carts, crates and sacks. You move your mount next to a donkey to a beam placed here just for this purpose. Without a moment of hesitation, Barry starts to chew at the nearby haystack. You have some time to make sure he doesn't struggle with your bundles. Okay, I look for the mayor and approach her. She's sitting on a chair with a 4-year-old boy on her knees. She's holding his hand gently, showing him how to eat gruel. It's not a cheap meal though. You spot nuts, berries and milk, and the added honey makes it yellow. The kid is clean and quiet. He crams his mouth with a spoonful of oats. Now, love, do not get distracted. A few more spoons and you'll go help Papa in the kitchen. Right, this is the mayor. Her long, full-sleeved linen dress must have been dyed once in blue and once in red, which would have drawn looks even in Hofleben. From her left shoulder hangs a green woolen cape. The brown belt on her waist has a large steel buckle that portrays a running deer with unrealistically large antlers. Unlike her tribesfolk, she's pale, with powdered and rouged cheeks, and her lips match her outfit. The thick grey strands in her long blonde hair look more like a fashion choice than a result of aging. Her eyes are the colour of her cape. She's shorter than most people around, though would still be the tallest woman in most of the northern settlements. So she's pale and short, which is, again, similar to Asterion. I wait as long as it takes. The boy lets out a gentle cough and after a pat on the back, the mayor puts him on the ground. You did a great job, but now I need to speak with our guest. Take him to father, will you? Yes, Ma. Both her hair and eyes are nothing like those of her quote-unquote brother, and neither of the kids resemble their mother. Am I a guest? Or am I a trade partner? I'm a guest. Okay, in Hofleben the river is surrounded by tall walls protecting the banks from deterioration. Here the smell is as fresh as it would be in the woods. The mayor observes your outfit carefully, at first looking as if she just ate an onion, but then she puts on a polite smile. Yeah, I stink. My husband will bring us something soon. I appreciate it. Hunger makes me peevish, and the day is too nice for that. As we're waiting, be so good as to help me understand something. Ever if you're but a mercenary, I cannot imagine a single reason for you to choose this realm for your wardening, not so long after Asterion's disappearance. Okay, Hofleben's interest is an opportunity. I simply explain the situation. The guild needs new opportunities. You were sent here by the merchants. They want the peninsula. Yeah, I mean that's true. So, I will just explain the situation. The guild and the deputy are in agreement. They are willing to send troops to this place, defend the settlements, patrol the roads. They'd cover your pay, and you'd only have to look after their board and lodging. The rate of taxes is open to negotiations, but they would be taken twice a year. You'd have time to think about it, and you're free to consult with your people. Safer roads brings many travellers, artisans and merchants. I know you realise it's an opportunity. But roads bring other people as well, she says, not all of them desired by us. The times have changed, and your superiors were kind enough to send a messenger, not a temple guard with a list of demands. But when it comes to the guild, there's always a catch. Her accent is now almost identical to a city accent. I'm telling you everything I know. I can't ask you to trust me, but I'm not hiding anything. Even if I were eager to put trust in the words of a stranger, your honesty has nothing to do with the truth, necessarily. It doesn't put me in an easy position, as you can imagine. Here, listen to this trick I learned about during my studies. You make a deal with a settlement, flour and wool in exchange for coin and tools. You send the first traders and they imply that you're ready to pay more for, let's say, parchment. Months later you want no more rye, just the parchment and wool. We cannae butcher no any more mouflons, the locals say. Don't worry, we'll send you a small flock. Just turn one of your fields into a pasturage. Her voice comically shifts. She has no accent issue switching between accents. Another years go by, and while there's more parchment, the village lacks crops. The tribe needs not just tools and coins, plenty of coins, but also seeds, and the guild is not satisfied. Turns out that the village can't say no anymore. They lack supplies, seeds, and land they can't refuse. Yeah, it's better not to say anything stupid. I'm Thace, one of the keepers of the Eight Bell Inn and the mayor of Howard's Dell. I assume it would be convenient for you to take my answer back to Hovlaven. So when should we expect the first caravan? After winter? Depends on what you can sell. While the conversation goes on, the food gets served. Okay, so I've got some food in me, that's good. The refreshing aroma of roasted mutton, thick sauce made of mint parsley and honey. Damn, that sounds good. It's all bought by a few young people, each of them referring to the mayor as their mother. And in the end, the innkeeper himself shows up to wish you a good meal. He's wearing a clean tunic and a not-so-clean apron made of hemp. He introduces himself as Eric's, and after confirming you won't get sick, he leaves you and his wife to your conversation. Right, we get to the important stuff. Sounds like the nearby ground is fertile. The village would gladly pay its taxes in grain and vegetables with the expectation that a squad of soldiers would provide additional protection. Our youth is strong, so we don't need guards on our roads, but a lone road warden won't keep the roads passable. We need fighters willing to patrol the paths, maybe even the heart of the woods. You're not an expert when it comes to linen, cheese and wool, so the mayor spends a good couple of minutes describing the outstanding quality of what the village has to offer. Okay, blah 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 blah. Yes. And of course, we will never reject steel and bronze. We lack alloys for sickles and scythes. Truth be told, the guild is not sure what the peninsula has to offer. It's going to take more than your village to convince them. Understandable, but we won't find much in other tribes. They barely have enough to survive, and even after they trade for our crops, for we have the only decent soil in the realm. At least the people of Gale Rocks have fish. The creeks sell meat and wood. If you haven't been in Creeks yet, the farthest village in the northeast, you could give them a chance. They could use your help with keeping their roads safe. White Marshes, on the other hand, as well as Old Pagos, are close to worthless. For a trade route, anyway. Okay, she stands up, walks to another table and offers a trencher to an elderly man. With a trembling voice he thanks her and starts to chew on the bread. She sits down, wipes her hands into a clean cloth and adjusts the fold on her cape. So tell me, how's Hovlaven? I haven't gathered much news since the invasion. Things stay humble but starting to look brighter. Sometimes better, sometimes worse. It's far from great. Okay, so there was a war, an invasion. Whoops. Okay, accidentally clicked that. Okay, things stay humble but are starting to look brighter. I was hoping to hear that. I thought they were done for. Losing all those ships and getting cut off from so many tribes, I'm surprised the soldiers didn't butcher all the priests and traders to fill their stomachs. It felt so unavoidable that I even came back home afraid for my life. But I still carry memories of that place, most of them warm. I'm glad the others haven't given up. The first time I crossed the city walls and saw the streets, my soul saw them as if they were made from dragon bones, not stone. All those people and the noise, the high houses and this life. But after only 2 years everything collapsed, for the first time in human history, like a burning dollhouse. Right, how can I help you, Leto? Okay. What am I actually doing here? What are my quests? Help others. Find the old Roadwarden. Gotta go to White Marshes for that. Gotta go to Gale Rocks. Yeah, he wants me to escort him to Howler's Dell. Yes, I see. So, I need to help out with Galushia's band. I was impelled to the north, the innkeeper feels uneasy. Are you sure? It's the first I've heard about it. Galushia's been around since years back, but she's not much of a nuisance. He's asking you to join forces with him. Well, I can't give you my answer. I won't ask our hunters to endanger their lives in pursuit of some gossip. I could ask around and learn more about this. What a splendid idea. There are only 3 villages in the north, White Marshes, Gale Rocks and Creeks. Bring me news from those places and you will get my answers. That's a different deal entirely. I'm being paid 2 dragons. I'll pay you another 2. Okay. Back in Hovlaven, did you spend any time in Backwood Corner? It used to be this dark, dirty alley with muggers working even in daylight. I stayed there with Octavia the miller in exchange for doing chores for her. At this small wooden hut. Okay, since the war, the soldiers is home for thugs. It's a respectable street with one of the fanciest inns. The Boarhead Inn is almost 50 years old. Yeah, it's respectable now. So it's the same family that ran the Boarhead Inn. Yes. Sure, why not? Why not? Why not? Okay. Right. I'm looking for Asterion. Tell me about Howler's Dell. Is your palfrey a mare? We have 2 jacks. We could use some mules. I'm looking for Asterion. I heard you, but he's not welcome here. And I don't know where he went. We haven't burned him or fought his awoken shell. Wherever he is, it's not our problem. What are his wrongdoings? If you have to know, he failed and won't get a second chance. He was meant to escort Agidia, a daughter of mine, to her betrothed in Kale Rocks. She was a great archeress, and the road from here to the coast is not that dangerous. When they saw goblins, Asterion ordered her to push through right into their trap. They got jumped like a bunch of wealthy pilgrims. A Roadwarden worth their gruel should know better. He can fight with a blade, but my girl never stood a chance. He disappeared soon after his pitiful attempt at apologising to me, and we closed our doors ever since. I'll let him know if he ever tries to return. Okay, so her daughter died. Where can I look for him? Yeah, so he's up in the north, basically. Yeah, I've quite a big family. At one point there were 12 kids living in our house. 9 girls, 3 boys. They come and go as it should be. A few are already with the forest, but the most are all grown now. To be perfectly clear, they aren't our children. It's a custom of our village for the mayor to look after the orphans. Thankfully, Eric's has a big heart and much more patience than I do. Okay. How do people dress in the cities these days? Yes. She's very interested in Hovleven. I don't pay much attention to fashion. She's getting annoyed because I don't really know what I'm talking about. Okay. No, oh, yes. The scavenger told me, don't ask. Yeah, about this. So, have you heard of the necromancers in the north? Yes, I have. You mean White Marshes? I don't know that much about what's happening there. We avoid their lands. Shouldn't talk about it with strangers. Okay. So a weird tree south of here? You mean Beholder, the guardian spirit of our wetlands. Every fall we bring it our gifts and it provides us with fruit, the flesh of the forest. It's older than the oldest books and the oldest thoughts. The druids help us honour its sleep and show us how to ask it for help. The druids help us honour its sleep and show us how to ask for its help. Neither of these rituals would be of use to you. Alright. So, what should I do next? I'm done with Thace, basically. Let's go to Eric's. Even though the counter stands outdoors, it's not rotten or dirty, and you guessed it, like the other furniture, it's brought inside every night. Eric's approaches you with a smile and leans on the surface with his fists. He's portly and taller than his neighbours. He's got freckles, short grey hair, and an elegant beard. How can I help you, traveller? His accent is heavy. He stumps with a heavy boot and looks around. Do you have any food I could buy? Yes, I keep them in the hall. Coins are not worth much. Let's say 1 ring for enough food to fill you for 2 days. In Hovleven, that price would be 3 or 4 times as much food. If you're in the mood for spending, I also have something special. It is a teeth set. A teeth cleaning set. Here are the twigs you'll need. Well, we do not let outsiders bathe in our creek, but give me 2 dragons and I'll ask my kids to get you in shape. You get a tub with soap and rose and they'll wash your clothes. Show me those rations. In an hour, I'll get as much food as I can eat and a proper bath with laundry. I have 8 coins. Okay, so can I buy... yeah. I'll buy 2 food rations. The teeth cleaning set. Before you take it, I've got the hazelnut twig. I've got the hazelnut twigs in the sheath, but can replace them in no time. What are you looking for? Now, hazelnut's fine. What else do you need? Okay. So, I will now pay for bath and dinner. There we go. You don't keep track of time, easing your soul with warm water and whiffs of oil. So, full food, and appearance 3 out of 5. That's pretty damn good, actually. And it's getting late. So, I could use a room. My kids keep it cleaner. Just tell me when you're ready. So, bath and dinner. I'm going to buy 1 more ration as well. Okay. So, I've now, in my inventory, get back from that, 4 rations and a teeth cleaning set, which allows me to, the herbs won't last long, but you'll easily replace them. Yes, so now I can clean myself in wells and stuff more easily, I think. Any rumours to share? Rumours? No, I have my own things to worry about. My neighbours keep their own company. Alright, let's sleep. Sleep on a mouflon pelt, which gives me take away 1 appearance, take away 2 hunger. Or sleeping in a room. Yeah, can't afford to sleep in a room, bought rations instead. Okay, so that's the first day done. Your first sleep ends, but your usual 1-hour break is instantly disrupted by noise. You wake up, you stand up, walk to the window and see the reason for the commotion. A group of workers is just outside the inn drinking and laughing. You could join them, but if you do so, you won't get a good night's sleep, and after such a long day, you may end up exhausted. Yeah, sacrifice sleep to show them I'm not an outsider, but no, just want to rest. I have learned to ignore drunken crowds, relax and return to your routine, sharpen my blade, and go to bed. It's warm here, but the skin allows your back to rest a bit. I didn't gain any vitality, that's annoying. You wake up early, but leave the building to check up on Barry and give it water from the creek. The innkeeper is sitting near the door and from time to time carrying out another bowl. Face is nowhere to be seen. Okay, so I can spend the entire day taking care of smaller chores, allowing my shell and soul to rest. No, we're not going to do that. Time is of the essence. It's 38 days. And I can leave the square. Okay. Go to the priest, go to the tailor. Or, we can get going to, yes, so I can go to some other places. So I can go to the ruins, go back to the Pelt to the north. Okay, but I think what we'll do is we'll leave it there. That's going to be the first episode of Roadwarden. And I have to say, this is pretty fun. It's very interesting. It's super slow, which is nice. It's very narrative heavy, which is of course what I look for. It does give me Disco Elysium vibes, although, maybe a little simpler in its presentation, which is not a bad thing necessarily. Very interesting little game. I'm definitely going to play more of it in my own time. And basically, thank you everybody very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want to see more Roadwarden. If you don't, then I won't play it, but I certainly enjoyed myself here. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.